So here's one that's going to challenge.
Yes, this is a combination that came second in the first qualifier. It is Charlotte Fry, and she is riding Ilegro, a stallion by Inclusive out of the famous Negro, a KWPN, representing Netherlands, of course, owned and bred by Van Olst Horses, also bred by L. Hans. They scored a 9.7 for the trot, a 7 for the walk, an 8.8 for the canter, 8.2 for submission, and 8.8 for perspective, giving quality marks of 85%. The technical marks were 70.268, giving a total of 77.634. So can they challenge Fiona and Quinn G in the top spot? So Lottie Fry now and Ilegro representing the Netherlands.
I think technically we were resting our left hind in that halt.
Yeah, you'd want to see a bit more immobility as well, Mark.
We're now at that 4-second rule, don't we?
Yes. But again, a lot to ask of these young horses to immobilise for. There's 4 seconds. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it feels like a lot.
It's a lifetime. Well, especially when the crowd are quite hyped up after Fiona's just been in and someone's gone to the lead. And
what a spectacular trot, though.
This is much better than the other day.
Scored a 9.7.
There's more relaxation than the other day, though. I mean, there's no doubt about the power, is there?
No.
And the tempo, and you can see this passaging in a heartbeat, can't you?
Oh, without a doubt. And beautifully supple through those half passes. Yeah. I mean, Charlotte is pretty well known for her half passes, isn't she?
Yes, she is. So this all comes down, I mean, you couldn't have two different horses from Fiona's horse, a beautiful, elegant ballerina, to this super hunk of a stallion, isn't it? You know,
absolutely.
Preference comes into it because everything beauty is in the high belt. For me, like, she's with Fiona right now.
Yeah, I would agree. But like you say, it's just two completely different horses. I just felt in the stretch he could have had his nose out a little bit more. It was a little bit behind the vertical, but showed that extension nicely there.
And the transition back was super. He's much better in his mouth than he was the other day. But being a stallion, he's probably settled into the game being here.
Exactly.
You know, it's... And he had a glitch the other day in about here. He cantered coming out of his, not the same test obviously, cantered coming out of his circle in the trot work. So that would have affected his submission and the technicals mark as well.
So it really could be incredibly tight.
It could, yeah. That was a really good trot tour. Right there, we just want the nose to be drawn more forward.
Yeah, he was one of the lowest scoring actually in the walk. Scored a 7.
Yeah.
Better stretching there towards the end.
Yeah, but lacking sort of ground cover and freedom.
Definitely.
So I'd say this is where we won. Like it was yesterday, the walk is what won and lost it, isn't it?
Yeah. But then if he's got more relaxation, then the submission mark might be higher. So, yeah, you know, it all...
Yeah. I know, because Fiona had that mistake, and yeah. Who said dressage is boring? Yeah, it's just a little bit of tension and lack of suppleness. I mean, all correct in sequence.
And he kept the activity there as well, didn't he? So scored an 8.8 for the canter.
I mean, that beautiful energy and bounce and bend and yeah, and engagement and.
He's got a lovely natural jump in this canter, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And again, she could really go for that extended canter.
I don't think she doesn't know how to not go for an extended canter, though, does she?
Well, when you ride a horse like Glamourdale,
you know what I mean? I think she's like, well, come on. No, you're not glammy, so come on. Okay. So just communication issues a little bit, but that be more on the technical. I don't think it'll affect the submission in in the paces part. A bit more in the technical part.
They're better this time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it clearly shows the ability to sit. You can see how the hind quarter's lower. And then she's able to really engage him for a really super change. Okay, a little stallion-y actually to that age, wasn't he?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah, just slightly. Well, not kicking against it, but was coming against it, wasn't he? Especially that last one.
I don't know how you feel, Mark, but I just feel generally in this canter, he could just be a little bit softer over the back and a bit more through.
Totally. And that's why we're getting these little glitches, aren't we? We're getting
Exactly.
a little bit croup high there. He just gets quite hot in the canter, doesn't he?
Exactly. Just a little bit holding.
Yeah.
But again, for a 7-year-old, it's you know, he's just extraordinary.
And again, it's like I'm ready to do a Grand Prix, isn't he?
Yeah, without a doubt. And again, a big smile there from Lottie at the end of the test.
I think his canter is going to be the difference between him not winning, to be fair there. I'm sure it'll be equal in the trot, but then the walk and the canter. Anyway, we'll see.
We shall see. Yeah, I think the trot is going to be a little bit higher than Quinn, the walk a little bit lower. And yeah, let's just see how it plays out.
Yeah, Lottie, or Charlotte, excuse me. Charlotte, thank you very much for presenting this powerhouse. And I have to say, you are so brave to handle this powerhouse. There's not everyone able to keep this like it was today. So I think for sure we have seen today the best trot work. It is powerful, so much lift, so much energy, always elastic in rhythm. In the extended trot, you could have taken a bit more forward tendency, a bit more risk, but we give you a 9.5. The walk, it's in rhythm, it's active. The extended walk could have had more freedom of shoulder and more overtrack. But for the future, it is very good walk because it's always in rhythm, in collection. So there we gave you still a 7.2. In canter, I think you felt that also today there were some tense moments today, before the period, the horse drifted a little bit outside, but your canter had a clear jump, and it was most of the times uphill and energetic with good air time. But it could have taken more weight, especially in the periods. So today we give an 8.8. In submission, we take into account these tense moments, and that also in the changes, in the 4-time changes, he was a bit overactive in the hind leg, to say it positively, and so we had to go in the submission to 8.4. But we see a very good future in that horse. And we see also a lot of possibilities to take later the weight, and especially in the trot work, you could see this elasticity and this freedom of shoulder. So we gave you, for the perspective, a 9.0. Thank you very much.
Yeah, as we expected, the top mark there for the trot, which was, as Sven said, the best trot that we've seen